What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerdcast for the next episode of This is the Police. Whoop. Anderson's dead. It's a little bit upsetting. It's a problem. I mean, it's definitely not something that I foresaw happening. Wasn't trying to lose an officer today, and I felt like we had a lot of manpower on that one. To be fair, for the event, they didn't have the option that I wanted, which was just open fire. They had a bunch of options that were all like slightly sarcastic or trying to be funny or trying to be stupid. And I was like, well, I would just blast them. They're sitting right there. They don't have their guns. We know they're holding this lady hostage. Just open fire on them. Brap. Done. No more criminals. And we take this lady home to her family. But no, we had to be all stylistic and movie-like about it, unplugging the radio and being like, anybody seen a criminal around here? Like,
Boyd here, and I hope you have a hell of a good reason for calling me in the middle of the night.
I'm sorry, Mr. Boyd. I'll call you back later.
No, wait. You're the girl from the prosecutor's office. Lana, right?
Yes, exactly. Oh, I'm so embarrassed, Mr. Boyd. The first thing Mrs. Broom told me about you is that you almost never sleep. I don't sleep too much either, so I thought I'd call you and apologize for last time.
But it wasn't the last time, was it?
Well, I've been going over our conversation in my mind, and I realized how stupid I sounded. You're the chief of police, and there's a strange girl calling you, saying she'll be the next city prosecutor, just to share the news, I guess. I must have sounded crazy.
Not so crazy as you imagine, Lana. When I learned I was going to be police chief, my parents were already dead, and my only friend was working 1,000 miles away from Freeburg. Wife and kids were relaxing on a distant island in the middle of the ocean. Took me 6 hours to get a hold of them. But I had to share the news with someone, or I would have gone mad. All the more because I was surrounded by half a dozen cops who figured they were ahead of me for the job. I figured you were feeling about the same.
It's like you're reading my mind. Now I'm like an outcast here. Most of them still think that Mrs. Broom was joking or trying to show her deputies that she's in charge of appointing her successor. But I know it's no joke.
For some reason, I didn't doubt it, Lana.
That's probably why I'm calling you. I know it's selfish. I'm sure your wife isn't too keen on girls calling you at night.
My wife and I, well, we're not living together. Maybe I'm the loneliest man in town, and that's why you called, to talk to someone even lonelier than you, huh? Lana?
You know, Mr. Boyd, maybe I'm an idiot, but until this moment, I didn't realize how lonely I am.
Well, you're in luck, because now you can call me anytime. But if you do, you'll have to call me Jack.
Jack? It'll take more than one phone call to get used to that.
Well, we're not in a hurry, are we?
True.
Lana! Danger zone! Once again, it must suck to be like named Lana now, because it just means people are going to fire Archer quotes at you like all day long. It's kind of like when that Damn Daniel thing came out and everybody was saying it all over again. My bestest buddy's name is Daniel. And it's just like, God, like all day, every day. It was just nonstop from everybody he knew. And he just had this glazed over look on his eyes by the end. 44% of Freeburg believes homosexuality is contagious. Well, I mean, that 44% lines up pretty well with the amount of stupid people in the world. Although I'd add a couple tens of multiples on there, but you know. Boutique sale invites stampede. Authentic uniform of German General Karl Wolf discovered in city dump. What does police station mean? That's new. One man's trash is another man's treasure. Is that just like how popular I am around the station? Too tired, I can hardly walk straight. Yeah, I don't know why you're still tired, though, because you had that amount of energy yesterday, too. Yep, go home, I guess. My son was in a car accident. Fighting for his life right now. Cool, so I have no detectives today. That's pretty fun. God damn it. And it's all random, too. That right there, if you reload your save over and over and over again, I tested it out. You'll get different events every time. And so, like, whether or not you win at this game can be completely and totally random based on who decides they're going to call in. And you can't make them work. Let's see here. 25-year-old Pamela Cox, a stripper from Club Twister, was brutally murdered in her home. Don't have any detectives because they're all too busy sitting at home. One was apparently too tired to do her job. This man was an honest servant of the city. Today he was buried with military honors. When did Grimes die? We didn't lose Grimes? When did we lose Grimes? Sometimes I think this game gets confused. We lost Anderson, not Grimes. Maybe Grimes was from a couple days ago. I don't know. We got Rick Dixon, which is like the most cop-sounding name ever. I figure... Oh, you can fire people for not coming into work. See, these are the things that I should have paid attention to. These are the things I should have paid attention to. Which one lost an officer? It's like Shift A. Alright, that'll work. Looks fine to me. We'll get this sorted out. I'll probably have to go in for those tomorrow. Mafia sent over, hey, Jack, one of our kids climbed onto the roof and he's talking about suicide. We need you to calm him down. At the same time, keep a lid on this situation. Send class over. Mafia sold the automatic weapon. Share it with the staff. Because we haven't shared in a little while. Share and share alike around here, Sonny. And all that sort of thing. My fiance watches Stardust a lot. It's like one of her favorite movies. I've seen that movie a lot of times. Although, that was a weird role for Robert De Niro, wasn't it? That was a weird role for him. That's not typically what you expect to see him in. A robbery at the Constitution 2000 arcade. A group of teenagers cleaned out a video rental cash register while the owner, Bruno Boyce, was occupied in the back room. Store employee recognized one of the robbers, a regular at the arcade room. Alright. Send Gibbons and... Aquino, please. Aquino. Whatever. It's all good. Technically, I'm the police chief. I could probably call him whatever I want, and nothing bad's gonna happen. Because apparently when you're a police chief in the 70s, you can do whatever you want. And apparently the mayor can also do whatever he wants. This is apparently what happens when we don't have labor unions or something. It seems like it's a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Because if you have labor unions, you basically can't fire anybody for any reason. But if you don't have them, you could basically just be a corrupt asshole. And it's like, well, shit. What do we do now? A teenager fitting the description of the offender is playing alone at the arcade console. Confirm with the manager. Good. Officer down. The little kid had a shotgun. Blow. The silent alarm is tripped at the Riverbank Central Branch. It appears that 4 to 6 armed robbers have stormed the bank and locked themselves inside. There are at least 15 visitors inside with them, along with dozens of bank employees. Sonamata, Bucarica, Song, God Bomber class, and I would like to have Gibbons there, but we'll send SWAT along with them for a little bit of backup, and hopefully that'll be enough. We sent 5 officers in SWAT. SWAT is like 8 guys, so one might assume that with like 14 people there, we probably get the job done. The Ice Prince Cafe. 15 hooligans burst into a cafe, broke the furniture to splinters, wounded the manager, and badly beat another man. A man armed with a gun was at the scene. He fired a warning shot, but the hooligans laughed and continued their rampage. They're destroying everything in the area. Don't have anything to send. That's why you don't fire warning shots. Kids, don't fire warning shots. If the situation is dire enough to pull a gun, the situation is dire enough to shoot the gun at somebody. Warning shots are bullshit. Don't fire warning shots. Firing warning shots is how people end up getting, innocent people anyways, end up getting themselves killed. I don't know. That's what my old man told me when I was doing my firearm training. Oh well. Don't care. It was an unfair challenge to begin with. I don't know in what universe they thought I was going to have enough officers to send like 20 people over here, and then 20 people over here 30 seconds afterwards. But it was an unfair challenge, so I don't really feel that bad about not doing it. I mean, I can send officers to their death if like you really want me to, but if I send 2 officers to that, they're both going to die. Let's see, terror threat. The police intercepted a radio signal familiar to the kind used by terrorist cells. They appear to be preparing a terrorist attack on Freiburg. The radio could only catch short snatches of dialogue. It sounds like 2 cells codenamed Green Snake and Jupiter are going to use something they're calling the Prophet's Hammer to make a giant explosion. Alright, send Gibbons, Bucarica, Song, and I suppose a couple of them. We're going to have SWAT. Apparently today is the day where it's just going to be like 100 officers to every single call all day long. Like everything we've had come through today recommends like 10 officers. Like you don't have to send 10, but I've had occasions in my other playthroughs where bad things have happened, like you don't send enough and like everybody dies. They weren't terrorists in an abandoned apartment and no sign of imminent attack. The signal was transmitted by a toy radio. Okay. It was a fakie. A big old fakey faker. A dirty, rotten faker. A phony. A filthy phony. I suppose I could send somebody out to this one. The house in which M. Sherman lived with his wife. After the divorce, the property went to his wife. Well, maybe don't go there. I don't know if the order matters on stuff like this, but we're missing the lead investigator. I think we'll just have to wait till tomorrow. I just don't want the investigation to go cold. The owner of a small grocery reports the teenage drug pushers are always hanging around the corner outside his shop. I'm tired of calling this in. You cops never do anything. The disappointed man then abruptly hangs up. Send her. Send class and said God Bomber. I'm sure they'll be fine. Maybe. I said that about Anderson, though, too. So it's like, well, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? I got to make more money. I got to figure out a way to turn these ducats around. Jack, what kind of circus are you running over there? Tampering with evidence? Seems your men aren't so loyal after all. Just be glad we don't want to see any more hype in the papers about this dentist of yours. We convinced the prosecutor not to investigate your little sideshow, but we did ask the feds to look into you. They'll be going over your correspondence with a fine-tooth comb. Mayor's such a dick. Like, how are they going to get him to investigate me and he doesn't get it? Oh, we found cocaine. Hooray. Yes, Mafia should sell that. Hooray for us. Cocaine! When you need to make cash, you make it in a dash. Cocaine. I'm convinced that with that song, you can basically put anything in there that rhymes, and then the excuse of cocaine at the end will basically justify it.
Boyd.
Well, finally, Jack. I've been dying to reach you these past 2 weeks, but I thought I should give you some time to recover your strength. How are you feeling?
Better than ever, Mr. Sand. Touched by your concern.
Well, I hope this doesn't sound too sentimental, Jack. But while you were laying in a coma, I thought about our last meeting many times. It was such a fascinating conversation. You said it yourself. You're a true hunter.
No, Mr. Sand, it was you who said that.
Was it? Well, it doesn't matter. What is important, Kendrick told me a lot about you, Jack. But I suddenly realized that he didn't give me the whole story. Why is it you only want half?
What are you talking about?
Well, why is it you only want to make half? Not a whole million, just half. Not 100,000, but 5. It's a very specific figure. How did you arrive at that number?
Well, I was looking at a house a couple hours outside of Freiburg, down the river. I figured to buy it, move the family, and set everything up, I'd need right around 500,000. It's not my style to take more than I need.
Ah. I must admit, Jack, I imagined all sorts of reasons, but none of them were close to the truth.
Are you disappointed, Mr. Sand?
No, not with you, Jack. Quite the contrary. I respect you even more.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, Mr. Sand. And now if you'll excuse me, I have to go home and get some sleep.
Of course, Jack.
Holy shit. This guy loves him some drugs. Jesus. Rumor mayor's favorite stripper found dead in his home. A giraffe is coming to the zoo. 25-year-old Pamela Cox, latest victim of brutal murder. Yay, everyone loves me. See, sometimes you just gotta cut people in. That's all that it takes. You gotta make them as guilty as you are. That way they won't snitch. Oh, yeah. I had a press conference. Mr. Boyd, what's the reason you called this press conference today? I'm not actually sure why I've called this. It's an important announcement. It's my duty to warn the people of Freeburg that there's a new predator wandering our streets, one who preys on young girls. Our sources tell us that 2 murders have already happened in the city, and a maniac named the Dentist is the killer. Why have you been so slow to warn the public? To warn the public. No comment. The Dentist is only one man. Can't the Freeburg Police Department handle one crazy loner? It's not quite that simple. The feds have been looking for the dentist across the country for years, but hopefully in our small city he won't find it so easy to hide. Do you believe it's specifically girls who are in danger? Yes. The dentist only kills young, attractive women. Do you have any information about the identity of the killer? That'll be all. That's all the information I can share for now. Alright, more cutbacks on city road repair. Freeburg police provide no details on the dentist. Dentist preys on young, attractive women. That seems like information to me.
Oh yeah, the work is definitely piling on. Truth is, if I didn't have Palmer helping me catch this psycho, I don't know what I'd do.
Yeah.
You know, when he got here,
And the stuff the newspapers are saying, is it true?
What are the newspapers saying?
The girl who was killed. She filed a sexual harassment complaint against the mayor? What about the other victims? Were they harassed by the mayor too?
Well, it's hard to say.
Is it true?
So far, the mayor's the only thing we have connecting the victims, but only one of them filed a complaint against him, and she withdrew it a few days later. Someone must have pressured her, but it's hard to say anything for sure.
But is it true? Do you think it's true?
Well, let's just say it seems like it might be. What's the matter?
The mayor raped me.
Can you repeat that?
The mayor of Freeburg, Stuart Rogers, he raped me. You heard me right.
When did this happen?
4.5 years ago when I was just out of college. They gave a reception for us at City Hall. Rogers gave a speech, and there were a few other speakers, then dinner. I drank the champagne, it was hot out, the music was loud. I was feeling dizzy, so I went to take a breath in a quiet corner. I found a conference room, then a few minutes later the mayor came in with his guard. Rogers whispered something to the guard, and the guard left. I didn't have time to figure out what was going on. Rogers just walked up to me, grabbed me by the throat and squeezed, and then he began to rape me. This went on. It lasted about 10 minutes.
Look, Lana, it would be very difficult to prove anything at this point, but
You wouldn't have to prove anything. I have a videotape.
A video?
A recording from a surveillance camera, a cassette. The raping mayor, sitting in my closet next to Kramer versus Kramer.
But how?
6 months after it happened, someone slipped the cassette under my door. This was the same time the city administrator, Mary Simmons, was dismissed. Quite a scandal, if you recall. I think that must have to do with it.
Lana, don't worry about a thing. We'll use this tape and ambush the bastard.
No, we're not going to do that.
Lana, listen to me. You need
It's
to...
been 4 years. Don't you think I've had time to think things through? I already decided I'm not pressing charges.
Lana, whatever you've been thinking, I promise you, it would be better if
No,
you...
it wouldn't be better. For the past few years, I've worked hard so that people would take me seriously, so they'd respect me as a professional. If I step forward now, I ruin all my efforts, my whole future, and I'll destroy my one chance to make this city better. I'll be a sympathy case, I'll be humiliated, and then I'll be attacked. And the one thing I won't ever get again is respect.
Lana, you're talking about covering up a crime.
I'm doing it because I know it's the right thing to do.
Then you're a fool.
Oh my God, I made a mistake. Just forget everything I said.
Lana, Lana! Shit. Shit!
I don't even know what to say about that one. I don't know. I don't even know what to say about it. Apparently nobody's calling in sick today, so that's good. I was hoping we could use that against the mayor to get ourselves some leverage, but unfortunately, didn't go down like that. I'm gonna send somebody out right now. We'll send Gibbons and Bucarica out to the house. We need to send detectives over to here. There goes SWAT for the day. The Mafia sent over our share. I'll take the money. Helen Bowling. Woman was an honest servant of the city. Today she was buried with military honors. Patricia Anderson. This city is falling apart. Like, I'm pretty sure that the National Guard would have been called already. And there already would have been, like, presidential hearings and everything. We've lost a lot of officers in, like, 2 weeks. And we've had a lot of murders and a lot of deaths. I just don't see this not getting national attention and being, like, something that someone with the federales was working on, you know? City Hall. Let's go with a SWAT upgrade, please. I don't know if that'll allow me to have multiple deployments, but I hope it do. In the ghetto, we got Mrs. Peterson, who claims that Dennis is breaking into her apartment. I hear him drilling through the lock. You've got to hurry. This seems like a false alarm to me. You know, I'm gonna let that one go. That one seems like it's a panic. Octopus Restaurant. An inebriated guest at the restaurant noticed that the kitchen chef bears a striking resemblance to the dentist picture from newspapers. Oh my god. There's no dentist picture. I didn't release the sketch. See, some of this stuff doesn't line up properly, and like if they wanted the game to make sense, like how do people have sketches now? Because we never released the sketch. So now we're just gonna have false alarms all over the place. Frames found for the serial murder. Give the frames to the feds. At the arson, we caught the offender. Case closed. Everybody gets better at their job. I don't want to take either of these because they both seem like they're probably false alarms. This one especially. This one over here. I'm gonna wait and see. I don't trust it. I don't think anything's happening. The fact the cook's description does not match the fugitive maniacs. There weren't any holes in Mrs. Peterson's door, only neighbors out front doing repairs. Exactly. The Everyday Mall, Jack Boyd. There's a real war against the scumbags happening on the streets today, and if it's a war, we're losing. Decided to open my gun shop to help law-abiding citizens protect themselves from dealers and pedophiles. Today will be our grand opening, and I sure could use a couple of brave officers who could lure in customers by handing out flyers at the mall. And I won't stay in your debt. I'll give your boys some toys that'll be useful in the job. Together we'll kill the filth and, well, yeah, send some people over, whatever. Sounds good to me. Hopefully they don't quit and open up gun stores or anything. Last time I sent them out to be actors, they gave up their professional life and decided they were going to go to Hollywood. Tearful schoolgirl reported that a scary man with a face like on the news touched her shoulder during the show. It said scary things in a strange language. Once again, I'm guessing that like a huge number of the calls today are going to be false alarms to go in with the theme. A man who resembles the dentist came into the office for an interview. The frightened secretary whispered on the phone. He's grinning at me like he wants to kill me. It's exactly like his photo in the newspapers. Dear Lord. This is why we shouldn't have done the press conference. This is why we needed to keep it on the down low that this was happening. The public has a right to know, but not when the public's going to panic and act stupid. Boss, that was a very strange job for police officers, but oddly enough, we're very tired out and got a lot done. Plus, Mr. Herzig gave us some nice guns. Oh, cool. Hot Dog 10. A homeless man is trying to rob a hot dog cart. Send over God Bomber. Still has the coolest name ever. Man was not a serial killer, but a mild-mannered foreigner who was asking the girl to be quiet during the show. Yeah, that's about what I figured. That, I swear to God, the movie theater is like a breeding ground for fights. Every altercation ever is always at the movie theater. Because somebody's talking, you're like, can you be quiet, please? And they're like, go die in a fire. And you're like, I live in a world of frustration. I don't know if you guys know this, but I live around bad people, and I'm constantly frustrated by this fact. Seller said the homeless man grabbed money from his till and quickly disappeared. All right. We'll visit the homeless shelter. There you go. Suspicious individual is an innocent law student who was smiling strangely. It was because he got nervous about the interview. Yeah. I figured it was going to be one of those days. I was almost positive it was going to be like this today. Ooh, that guy's got classy gloves on his album. Ooh, that drum beat, though. Got me feeling sassy. Shake a tail feather. Sorry, I'm shaking tail feathers right now. We gotta make more money. It does seem like we've had more money-making opportunities, though, over the course of the last couple days, so I'm assuming that's only gonna become more and more prevalent. With our investigations, we have nothing? Huh. I thought we had the, Let me see. I wonder if we get brought back into the investigation then, because it seems kind of pointless to go out and get, like, the scraps of cloth and do, like, the riddles and stuff. They're just gonna cancel it out. That last thing didn't give me a choice either. I had to give the frames to the feds. Crime in progress, public indecency. Cemetery caretaker Harry Tipton reports that a young couple is having sex among a number of old tombstones and making disgusting sounds. Mr. Tipton is afraid to approach. Gibbons and Godbomber. As for usual, I mean, it's alliterative. Gibbons and Godbomber. PD. Gibbons and Godbomber. Vice Detective. It sounds like a TV show, right? Godbomber's a dope name, though. If my last name was Godbomber, I'd accomplish a lot more in my life. I know that. There are indeed a young naked couple laying above the tombstones. Man jumps up and shouts police and turns tail. Hit him with a stun gun. You guys know me. Any excuse to stun gun somebody. Any excuse. My name is Splattercat. This is the end of This is the Police. I will see you on the next episode. Bye, everybody.